Some of you think I'm being disrespectful when I tell you that there are certain habits you find within our black communities that are destructive.
Welcome to another episode of Wake Us Up in the Hood. I am your host Marshall, and today we will be reacting again once more on a video by Citizen Concern. And this video is titled, as you can see, Disingenuous Citizen. So I just want to leave the disclaimer once more. This is not a personal attack, this is not a hit piece. This is just mainly reflecting, giving a different perspective to the views and opinions on the message shared by Katlego on Citizen Concern. And as we have reviewed in the previous video, going through their website, whereby they're making the statement to say that they give facts and keep their opinion out of it so that they don't waste viewers' time, right? But this, including the previous video and other videos, but I'm referring mainly to the ones I've responded thus far, including this one, clearly is filled with an opinion and perspective and a bias by them. And I also want to disclaim that I'll be having my own opinion as well, and I am influenced by my own bias as well. So I do not want to mislead anyone to make it look like I don't have an opinion. I do have an opinion, and I will be sharing it with you in this reflection. So let's look at the video and then we reflect.
When I mention that black people are the ones responsible for the mess in our communities, you think I hate black people. I hate myself. I'm a coconut, right? Well, here is more evidence. This is the community I live in right now. It was once a white
coconut.
community. Black people came, and this is what the community has become. First of all, overcrowding. The homes that were meant to house one family are now housing more than two families. These houses and neighborhoods which many of us aspired to enter are now trashy because there are people who have decided to put 10 families within one yard. Secondly, dumping. This place is a private property owned by one businessman. The people who live right here in this town know very well that every Thursday the municipality comes to pick up rubbish from all the houses. Every house has its bin, or should have a bin. On Thursday morning, you simply have to take out your bin, put it outside, and the truck will come and collect your rubbish. We all know very well that this is the way of doing things here. But what do certain people do? They simply take their rubbish from their houses and come to dump it right here. Ever since I came to
So let's reflect on what she has covered so far, right? She's saying that the garbage collectors come every Thursday, so people should be well aware of that. And she's also mentioning something very important, which is a clue into explaining what is transpiring in that community currently, right? And again, I am going to say that I can relate because that is the reality of the communities we live in, right? And the clue that I'm referring to is the overcrowding, right? And how do we explain the overcrowding, and who do we blame for that, right? And again, I'm critical about these facts because they give the impression on their website, Citizen Concern, that they thoroughly investigate, get all the facts, before they record, right? So when they make videos like this and they share a particular or certain perspective, and when someone like me view it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, and can relate to it, but then wait for them to share the experience that we have in our communities, that explains why stuff like this happens, the dumping, the illegal dumping, right? And then they don't mention it. So again, this makes me to think, number one, either they are not informed or have not experienced what we experience in our communities. Number two, they are well aware, but they have an agenda to push a certain narrative. Hence, they have this particular perspective, right? And propagating this narrative. And I'm making a response to these videos, so that an opportunity can arise whereby we can engage, myself or this platform and their platform, Citizen Concern, so that we can share information, experiences, right? To make one another understand from what perspective we are speaking from, right? So that we don't point finger and accuse one another without any result, and making progression to get to a stage whereby we provide practical solutions. And I'm using this term specifically, practical solutions, because one viewer who replied on the previous video I made to respond to one of Citizen Concern's videos said that they are a fan of Citizen Concern and they are a fan of our platform, and they like both, right? And they find value in both platforms, right? So therefore, I feel like it will be very beneficial for our viewers, not just our viewers, I mean for our country as a whole, so that we can make progression. And one of the stuff that this particular viewer highlighted was that he or she is very frustrated because, yes, we do a good job to highlight all of these aspects, but none of us are coming with a practical solution, that can be implemented immediately to change the circumstances, right? And that is a challenge I'm putting to Citizen Concern as well, and to ourselves included, to come up with practical solutions to address these type of challenges that we experience and that has been highlighted by our citizens. All right? So, please, this is an invitation. Citizen Concern, please, let us engage so that we, as Wake Us Up in the Hood or myself, can share with you certain information and experiences so that you can have a better perspective, So when you report, because it is reporting that you do, so that then you can give an analysis that incorporates our perspective as well, so that we don't feel a type of animosity is not the correct term, but there is a level of animosity, but more neglect, that we don't feel we are being neglected, that our experience is not being viewed, it's not being incorporated, it's not being considered, it's as if we don't exist, So for that reason, I would like for us to engage to connect and to share, so that you can also share with me what makes you to have this particular perspective that capitalism is better than communism for our country, right? Because in the previous video, you are speaking down on communist values, but you want to use a communist country and their progression to make the example of what we can achieve here in South Africa if we have better leaders, right? But again, you are using a communist country, and that is so bizarre, for me at least, right? So hence, I feel I need to respond and agitate so that maybe it will bring your attention to certain information, certain experiences, certain perspectives that currently feels like is being omitted in your view, in the way that you report, right? So let's go through what she just mentioned, the overcrowding, as I said. And again, in one of the previous videos, not on YouTube, sorry, I actually, yes, I did speak on it on one of the videos on YouTube, but I gave a more in-depth explanation on one of my TikTok videos. But what I'm referring to is human behavior is shaped by the environment, right? So our environment has a great influence over what we do as human beings, right? And now I'm gonna make a correlation between our colored communities and our black communities, and then I'm gonna make a, what is the word I'm looking for, a comparison with white communities, alright? So that you can then see how environment and behavior plays a role into what we experience in our communities, the black and colored communities specifically, right? And why it's so drastically and fundamentally different from white communities, right? So the overcrowding, we are sitting with a situation whereby our community is growing. The population in the community is growing, not the community itself. Let me choose my words correctly. The population in the community is growing, right? The families in those communities are growing. We get people moving into the communities. That is besides the people in the communities, children that lived with their parents are now adults that still live with their parents, having children, and still live in the same house. So now it becomes a household with multiple families and multiple generations, and it just so coincidentally that the community is now focused on the times that the municipality comes and collects the garbage. For us it's also on a Thursday, right? So that was just, it's nothing important there. I just thought it was an interesting but to highlight. So now, when a population grows, that means automatically the amount of waste materials that is going to come from that communities is going to increase, right? And here in our community specifically, and when we look at the communities on the Cape Flats as well, these are the communities that are so overpopulated with an infrastructure that is not adequate to support the population that it hosts. Apologies. Again, in a house full of people, interrupted. Let's continue. So the population grows and the waste grows, increases. The waste increases as well, right? What is the municipality doing to mitigate or address the increase of refuse? They are not sending the truck. The truck comes once a week, right? One truck going through a community, and the truck doesn't come at a certain time specifically throughout the day. There are some times the truck comes in the morning. There are sometimes the truck comes at night, right? So it's not like the truck comes at a fixed time. For instance, you can't expect the truck, if it comes today at 8 o'clock in the morning, next week it's going to be there at 8 o'clock again, right? Why am I highlighting this? I'm highlighting this so that I can share more facts that contributes to this illegal dumping situation that we experience in our country. Or not in our country, because as you can hear there, they are now stigmatizing to say this is a black thing, but it also happens in the colored community. So are we gonna now attach illegal dumping to a race as well? That to me is very, I don't want to say disingenuous because it doesn't make sense to use that word, but it's very poor and misleading, right? It's a very poor outlook on how you see the colored and black community, or black, let me say black because you are identifying blacks only. Let me not drag coloreds into this. So now, what happens when the truck doesn't come at a specific time? So this week it comes 8 o'clock. Okay, right? Our rubbish gets collected and it's on time. Right? Next week you leave your bin outside. Yeah, it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon and the truck hasn't come yet. 2 o'clock, the truck hasn't come yet. By 3 o'clock, you go check outside. Where is the truck? Then you notice, my bin is missing. So people can't just be leaving their bins outside, you know. And sometimes people are at work when the truck comes. So they can't leave their refuse bin outside and expect it to be there when they come back from work. It will still be there waiting empty for them. Alright? Because what happens? Bins get stolen. Because that is a valuable commodity in itself. Alright? That is but one of the facts that occurs in our communities. The other thing is, some of us with this big families, you know, or sometimes it's not families, it's external people coming also to rent maybe a room or put up a Wendy house at the back of your yard, you know, renting space, whatever the reason might be. But there is more people now on this property. Now, one bin is not enough, you know, because I'm going to speak to my household specifically. We are 22 people in one house. Thursday, they come collect the refuse. Right? Friday goes by. Saturday goes by. Sunday, that bin is full. Now, what do you do with Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday's refuse? Where does that go to? Right? Some of us are able to get buy black refuse bags, right? And are able to put the rubbish in there. However, what I've personally experienced, and I still experience it to this day, these people that come to collect these refuse, you know, and I don't want to, again, make it a race thing, but in our community, it's mainly black people that's on the truck, and once in a while, there will be a colored, you know, maybe once every 2 months, there's a colored on the truck, or maybe once in a month, there's a colored on the truck, but primarily, every week, when they come, it's only black people, right? And now I don't know, is it because of those individuals on the truck? Is it their personal policy, feeling, or is it a policy that the municipality has, right? Because now I come with my bin full of rubbish, and then I come with 2-3 extra bags of refuse. Now they tell me I can't add the 2 extra bags. It's too much. Now I can't throw up like they did back in the day. Back in the day, they used to throw the black bags straight into the truck, you know. Today you can't do that. It's against the rules. Now again, I don't know, is it the rule of the municipality, or is it the rule of the individuals on the truck doing the work, right? They tell us, you can't throw that extra bag in the truck. Now, even if you want to, say for example, load the first pile or load, offload it into the truck. Now the bins comes down. Now you put the other bags separately in the bin, so that the bin can go for a second time to offload the rest of the refuse. Now, that is something many of them refuse to do. And only twice in my experience, they allowed me to do that. Alright? When the bin come down, then I put the extra bags, because the policy is I can't throw a black bag straight into the truck. I don't know if there's a camera on the truck, or are the colleagues, are they gonna report on each other, or whatever the reason is there, but they refuse for us to add the additional bags to let the bin offload for a second time, right? So in many instances, and I'm again giving my personal experience, our people now are left with no other choice but to look for an alternative way to dispose of this rubbish, right? Because they are not gonna take it back home, and you're gonna take it home and accumulate new waste, which is then also not gonna have space, because the current waste that you were not allowed to offload is now back home and filling the bin already on Thursday, the day when the refuse came to collect, right? And I don't wanna excuse the people who are really negligent and lazy and are not, when they hear the truck come in the community, right? But they still don't get up to take the bin out. Now they realize later, but yeah, the truck has gone and everybody's waste has been collected. Here I'm with my waste. What do I do now? Now they go and dump. Right? So that is but one of the ways it happens. Right? Now, one of the other things that contributes to this is the fact that we in our communities, right, do these things, out of behavioral patterns, right? No matter if that, where this is happening now, if this is a white community or a black community, whatever, and this type of behavior never occurred here, but all of a sudden, since certain people came to move into the community, now these activities are taking place. It is about where are they coming from? From what environment are they coming from? Right? The environment where they grew up, where they were conditioned, where their behaviors got shaped. This was normal. This was not seen as something to look down upon, to frown upon, because in their communities, there is very little service delivery. So refuse doesn't get collected, and they are used to dumping. So now it is a behavior, right? So when they come into this new community, this behavior is still a part of them, right? And now they commit these type of acts in the new community where it is not normal practice to do, right? So this is what contributes to this. I don't know what the reason is for this community specifically, but just for the communities where I am from and what I am exposed to, right? So this is the type of thing where I feel like it's either you lying on your website or you lying in your videos, because you are contradicting yourself in your videos by saying on your website that you investigate thoroughly and you get all the information before you record a video. So now this happens, and they are speaking about a white person's behavior and what he does, and saying that not directly, but in their framing, they say that is the behavior of all white people because one white guy is doing it. And this is also what I want to highlight. Katlego, this is what I want to highlight. In your previous video, the video I responded to, so in your video you say that one French guy who gave his experience to say that in Western countries, they do not want to see Africa develop, right? And you say, but that is just one video, and one video is not enough to give the overall perspective, And here I want to use that argument This is but one video. This is one video. Come up with more videos where they say this is a black thing and that white guy cleaning up, that cleaning up is a white person thing. Come up with more videos, to substantiate your facts, your statements. Alright? Because that is the argument you make. So this is but one video, and that is not the story for every community. Alright? And I'm again highlighting that you are being very disingenuous and very conniving to make this, to associate this with race. And this again makes me to feel like you are a racist. You are a closet racist. Right? Even if it is against black people, which you are a black person, a person can be racist to his own race. And I can understand, and I'm not calling you a coconut. I can understand why people are calling you a coconut. Because of the way you frame your stuff. You want to make it seem like it's not about the race, but then you emphasize on the race the whole time. And when you highlight the race, black is always in a negative light and white is always in a positive light. And I'm really curious to understand why that is. But let's continue.
And come to dump it right here. Ever since I came to this neighborhood, I have never seen a single white person throwing rubbish in this area. I have seen some poor white people come and search through the mess for something valuable, but I am yet to see them do the dumping. Remember, this is
So, is it only white people that is coming to search through the mess? So, colored and black people don't go search through that mess. Katlego.
private property, but the residents of the area come and throw the rubbish. This corner here has been cleaned so many times that I cannot even remember the number.
That is the experience of all our communities, And again, this is where I agree with you. It is our leaders. We don't have leaders with the political will to fix our communities, let alone our country. Alright? But if you are going to continue what your framing, the way you report on stuff, you are going to perpetuate this problem. You need to be honest and less disingenuous.
A man whose house is right next to this to express himself.
Usuke la.
Ubani umuntu ozoyimela yonke lento le. Bani yazazi impukani wala la zonke. Amadoda nyasokola isibaleke lokushini. Baleka izinto ezifana ngegini kwami. Kwazi ukuhlala ngaphandle.
Can you just notice what the lady is highlighting there? Alright? That is a township thing. She ran away from a township to get away from this. Alright? So, ask yourself now, is there proper and adequate services provided to the townships? Alright? That lack of services creates certain conditions in that environment, and the environment shapes behavior. Alright? Hence I'm saying these people come from places where that is the environment. Now this has become part of their behavior. When they move into new communities where this doesn't transpire, they are going to still participate in the same behaviors, regardless of where they are finding themselves. Right? So, that is a behavioral problem now as well. Right? That is a behavioral pattern these people now need to learn, need to unlearn. It's not going to happen overnight. If you want to prevent this, and I agree with you, the municipality needs to do more. But please, stop being disingenuous with your race baiting. And just admit you are a closet racist. But I do not want to insult you, and I hope you don't, how can I say now? English is not my mother tongue. Words are escaping me now. That you don't see this as a personal attack. This is just me giving my critical opinion, because I'm allowed to critique, and you are welcome to critique me as well on whatever faults you might find.
Umlungu ke lo cleanness.
Umlungu uyenzani?
Yabona nje bave yacleanela. Angeke uzobona la.
And yeah, what this guy is saying, that is a white thing. Cleanliness is a white thing. My God. I want to share with you something about, and again, this is not a race thing, a color thing, but I do want to share that in many of our communities, and my mother is one of those people, they absolutely hate rubbish, uncleanliness, and it's like whenever a cup is not in place or the dishes are not done properly, it's like it's doing something here on the inside, like a fire is being lit, and it irritates them so much, because they are people that like cleanliness, right? So for this gentleman, again, how to say cleanliness is a white thing, he's also being disingenuous and racist to his own people.
Lapha ngalahle khona utshani bebacleanile. Hlala ngimbukela every day efasitereni. Clean khona amaplastic amnyama udoki.
This is one guy cleaning every day. Do you see white people out here cleaning every day? Do you see it? Look at our country. Who is doing cleaning jobs more in this country? Is it white people? Don't tell me cleanliness is a white thing, please. I think this video is long enough. I think it's long enough. And I think you guys get the point. So, she is highlighting some more facts, some of the stuff I can agree with. But I want you to go and look at that video for yourself, right? She mentioned stuff that I agree with. One of them, like, is our leadership. That's the problem, and some other stuff that I can agree with. But largely, the framing is my biggest concern, and that is why I'm saying I'm a concerned citizen of citizen concern. I'm suspicious of you. This has been Marshall for Wake Us Up in the Hood. If you find any value in what we do here at Wake Us Up in the Hood, please consider to subscribe. Please like. Please share with anyone that you feel might benefit from our content. And again, after you have gone watching that video, watching this video, please come down, comment down below what your findings are, and also in your communities where dumping happens, please share with us what are the factors that contributes towards that, just like I shared now in my community's setting, so that we can get a better understanding what to do about this phenomena. Alright? So that we can come up with practical solutions like our viewers would like to have. So that we can start implementing stuff that will be beneficial and yield results, and stop highlighting stuff to agitate our people just so we can get views, likes, and exposure. Let's come up with practical solutions, because that is what I like. I like practical solutions for problems. Yeah, this has been Marshall for Wake Us Up in the Hood. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.